Okay, so to do this, I'm actually going to undo a couple things that we've done before. Let me just back out. As an example for our loop. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's back your video is very important to us. Okay, let's keep it going further back to less complicated. And we'll just do, are you old enough to drive? All right, so this was our test before. If you remember correctly, we were checking the user age and the driving age and the insurance age. And that was our example of two different conditions that we're checking for. Now what we can do, let us, again, that mouse, let us sort of automate this. And instead of setting the user age to be 15, let's start with 12 and go to 30. And the way we can do this is with a loop. And so the first loop I'm going to show you is a for loop. And so to do a for loop, what I need to do is I need to, and it's a little bit much of a setup, but I do want to show it to you. I'm going to do for. So what does the for mean? Okay, so it means that we're going to do this sequence of things, and then we're going to run this code beneath it. And so let's take a look at what I mean. So for let I, little secret, every time we do iterations of loops, we almost always use I and J. I don't know why we use I and J. I guess because I is iterating and J is the next letter. So let I equal 0. So that means we're going to start with 0, which is not what we want. So we'll fix that in just a second. Now it's at what condition do we do this for? While I is less than 30. Iterate I, which means I++. When you put I++, that's saying, okay, the first time I is 0. Now we're going to run again. Now I is 1. Now I is 2. Now I is 3. Now I is 4, right? We're going to do it that often. I'm going to change this to 12 because that's where we wanted to start. And what I didn't do at the end of 4 is put a curly bracket around it. So I need to put the end curly bracket down here. And if I'm not mistaken, I can select and hit tab to move it over so I can see that it lines up with everything. So this is just for my own sanity. You actually, as I've said, don't have to line everything up in JavaScript, but I'm going to because it's going to be a little bit easier to read. And the other thing I want to point out is notice the semicolon after each of these. What that's saying is in this one thing, these 3 different lines are happening, okay? So let I equals 12, do this while I is less than 30, and each time go up by 1. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to set user age is equal to I, okay? And I'm going to change a couple things around here just to be, actually I'm not. I'm going to add this. I'm going to do a console.log that says the age is. Now, do you remember how to put 2 strings together? It is a plus and then the variable. I'm going to do another plus, and because I want to just close it out correctly, there we go. All right. So now the way this is going to work is it's going to, basically hit the script tag, it's going to define user age to be 15, but we're going to blow that away in 1 second. We're going to redefine it. I have the driving age set to 16. I have the insurance age set to 26. And then it goes into this loop. And so everything between this and this is going to loop between 12 and, I guess, 29, right? I will get to 29. I will not get to 30, because once I gets to 30, you know, I is less than 30. Or it only works when I is less than 30. It doesn't work anymore. We leave. So the user age is this. Is going to be I, and then the age is that, and then it just does all the checks we had before. So let's go ahead and save it, and then let's go to our test. Make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Okay, let's go to our test, and let's refresh, and we see all of this stuff here. The age is 12. Sorry, you're too young to drive, but you can be on your parents' insurance. The age is 13. Sorry, you're too young to drive, but you can be on your parents' insurance. 14, 15, 16. Congrats, you can drive and be on your parents' insurance. So we have 16, same all the way through 25. And then 26 is sorry, you're not able to drive and be on your parents' insurance at the same time. You know, sorry, you're not able to drive. And then we ended there at 29. If we wanted to do 30, we would put it less than or equal to 30. Save that. Refresh that, and you'll see 30 is there. Let's say we didn't really want it to be, we don't really want it to be every one. So I++ is the same as writing I equals I plus 1. Okay? Just to show you that. Hit refresh. Yeah, it's the same. So we could do I equals I plus 2. You know, maybe to save some of our processing time for whatever reason. Okay, look, we have 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, etc. So this is a for loop. And again, they have lots of uses, especially later. If you can imagine when we talked about functions briefly, and we talked about those parameter things, you know, imagine doing all of this in a function that's like check age, right? If that's the case, this code could be somewhere else, and the for loop would make a lot of sense. It would be, you know, for user age equals I, check age, user age, console.log feedback, something like that. Okay, so that is our for loop. Let's do a while loop, and what you'll see is that there are some things that are very similar. In fact, I can actually keep the loop the same. What I want to change is the for word and the for word, the control word, and what goes in here. So let's go ahead and use while. So to do while, I would say while, that's not what I would put at all. I would put it here. While what? I is less than 30. Do these things. But what you notice is that I never actually iterate I. And that's the difference between this, is I actually have to say down here I++ or I equals I plus 2 or something like that. So now I have, now this should work. The problem is that we've never defined, and that's bad form. While it would work, let me go ahead and set it, especially if we want it to be something like, especially if we want it to do something like starting at 12. So let's do let I equal 12. while I is less than 30, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or we could really simplify, instead of like setting different things, is let user age equals 12 here, get rid of this, just use the simple variable I'm already using, while user age is less than 30, and then we can increment user age. So now it goes along with my variables a little bit more than those sort of archaic i's. So let's save it, let's run it. And you see that it works the same way. Start with 12, and you get to 29. Why 29? Because we did less than 30, not less than or equal to 30. Now, the important thing to know about this while loop is that it will always check the condition first and then decide to run. There is a way to always run it'll always check the condition, and then it may or may not run depending on the condition. There is a way to run the whole thing and then decide if it should do it again. So basically, if you want to make sure that something runs once and then doesn't run again, we can do a different loop, which is called a do while loop. Okay, so here's how we do a do while. I'm actually going to move while to the end, and I'm going to say do, and that's it. Now, no matter what, we're going to run it just so you can see that it's going to run. Yep. It just keeps running. Or sorry, it doesn't keep running. It stopped where I wanted it to. All right. But let's do something else. Let's set, while user age is less than 30, do this. I should be able to set this to 30. Save it. The age is 30. Sorry. Yeah, so it will always run. And even if I set the user age to be like 36, save it, and run it, it will always run once, even if that variable is way out of the bounds of what we're checking for. So there might be some conditions where you want to use this to initialize, or there might be some conditions where you always want your code to run at least once, no matter what. And in that case, this is how you do that. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't matter which one you use. If you like for loops, that's great. For loops have that iterative part built in to the beginning, meaning it's always going to have a condition that should stop, right? It should stop because you're saying it, plus you're iterating all up here. It's all self-contained. It's going to work. You're a lot less likely to get into a condition where it just has an endless loop, which if I do that, if I go back to where we were, let's get to a while loop and let's break it. While I is less than 30, user age equals I, because, yeah, I have to let I equal something. Actually, well, user age is less than 30. And if I don't iterate user age and it's 15, what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen if I go ahead and hit run right now? If I refresh this, what do you think is going to happen? Give you a second to think about it. It never iterates. So if you thought that it's just going to keep going over and over and over again, you're right. That's what's going to happen. I'm probably going to break the browser and going to have to close this browser window. So if you look, it just keeps going. Oh, look. Yeah. The page is locked, or the page, I should say, is just constantly running and we are in a loop, an endless loop, an infinite loop, as they say, which is why Apple's address in California is on infinite loop. So yeah, we don't want this condition to ever happen. Even if I hit, oh, yeah, I now broke the web page, so I have to close it. Yes, and you can see all the feedback down here. That's just that console.log. So we just create an endless loop. When we create an endless loop, of course, that is a bad thing, and it can bring a whole website down. You may have gone to a website where it just broke, and that could be because of some poor JavaScript. Yep, look at that. Okay, that seems like a really good place to stop talking about loops. What we're going to do next is take a look at the homework. Look at the homework assignment. And I want to do an activity right now that does the same kind of thing as the homework assignment, but without doing the homework assignment, if that makes any sense. We'll do all the same skills. All right, so I'll see you in just a minute.